Hey guys, it's Genevieve. So bear season in Pennsylvania doesn't start for a couple more months, but I do have some bears to mount. I'm getting started on a nice rug back here, and he's got a lot of holes. He was a shotgun bear, so I gotta get that sewn up, but looking pretty good so far. Actually, it's not, but it's gonna take a while. So here is our bear. It's a very pretty bear. Very shiny. He will be very pretty, but he's got real nice thick fur everywhere. Except he was a shotgun bear, like I said. Good lord. Anyways, I got one hole sewn up already. Not too bad. And I'm gonna, of course, paint all the lighter skin here. But not too bad, all things considered. Thankfully, though, this is the only spot that needs to be sewn up because the whole rest of the hide is in good shape. It's just this front leg here. Alrighty. Let's check out what we got here. He needs some paint, and I'll smooth out the wrinkles the best I can, but that is not bad, considering how big this was. Wow. It's the length of my forearm. Like, just for scale here, look at the size of this thing. I can't believe I sewed all that up. But once I get that painted, I don't think you're gonna see it. So the next step, I have to rehydrate everything. This is a dry tan, so it's nice and soft. And in theory, you can leave it just like this. But you can't really mount it because it's all leather, right? It's real stiff, it's real kind of brittle. It's real loud when you touch it. So to rehydrate it, I just have it in some salt water. But now, you can see that the skin gets nice and slippery again. So this paw needs a little bit longer. The pad is still really stiff. But these toes are just about ready to be stuffed now and painted. You can see now I can bend the toes around. And we're gonna get them straightened out so that they aren't all curled up weird. Alrighty, we got all his little feet put together here. So now they're not all wrinkled up and gross looking. I do have to paint the pads, of course, once they dry. But I got him all set, and we're just waiting on his face here to soften up. We're making some progress, but the faces usually take a little while. You want them to be really soft because these are the parts that you manipulate the most. Especially these ears. So I just kind of keep massaging them for a while. Help, I forgot to press record. Anyways, I got his one eyeball in. And I'm using the reflective eyes from Matuska. Here's the artificial nose. They look pretty good. And you got the teeth in there and the tongue all wrinkled up. And I like these teeth because they aren't blindingly white. Got a little bit of yellow to them. So now let's get his other eyeball in. And fix it so it's not weird looking. And for predators, I always look down at them. That way you make sure the eyes are facing straight forward or straight up. It's very important. You don't want them facing out at all. I think bears have pretty much a round eye. Deer have sort of a rectangular looking eye shape. But bears appear to be almost completely round. So I just sort of do a regular round shape on these. Here's another look. Alright, so we're putting his ears in now. And for bears, I don't order ear liners a lot of the time. Just because their ears are so many different sizes. But I got the ear all prepped and ready. There was some holes in it. I had the slash that I had to get sewn up from the ear tag. But this is kind of a small bear, so it looks like his ears are a lot bigger than they are. It's just that they're big in comparison to the size of his head. So I'm going to be filling these ones with epoxy. Just plain black. And to do that, I just kind of open it up from the inside. And drop her in. Alrighty. Make sure they're down in the bottom good. And we flip them. And then there's this big ball of epoxy down in there. Clean his ears out a little. And he's got all kinds of gunk. We'll clean that up later, once it dries. But I get the ear canal down in there good. And then I just flatten them out. And now the other ear. You gotta make sure you get it all the way out to the very tip though. Because this is what gives the ear support once it dries. So you just have to make sure it's nice and tight everywhere inside the ear. And you can do this with Bondo too, but I accidentally put a bunch of little tiny holes in it. So instead of sewing all those up, you can use epoxy instead. It just takes longer to dry, so it's a little bit more of a pain, but yeah, that feels pretty good. So I've got both his ears in, and they will dry stiff, of course.